All right, y'all. So as you guys know, we have a total of 10 limited characters coming into Nikke within the next few months. Obviously, we have 4 coming with the new event and then 10 coming back in September. The 4 coming with the new event are the new Summer Dorothy and Summer Eleg with the rerun of Summer Sakura and Summer Rosanna. And then in September, we're going to get all the old reruns of, the old limited characters being Summer Anise, Summer Helm, Summer Mary, Summer Neon, and then Winter Rupee and Winter Anne. Now, obviously, there are a lot of limited characters, and basically this is going to be like, I don't want to say your final chance, because at the end of the day you are going to have a chance at getting them again, but it's just like the more chances you have at getting them, the less valuable they become. Like, a lot of the characters on this list used to be godlike when they first came out, right? But now, obviously, because times have changed and we got more new characters, they don't have that much relevancy. So I'm going to basically give you guys a ranking from 1 to 10 of the best to the worst character in this, category of the characters we have coming, and then I'm going to kind of do like a little pros and cons breakdown of each individual character so you guys can kind of understand and basically decide if you want to summon or pull for this character based on my pros and cons. I feel like this is the most accurate ranking I've ever done before, so I'm very confident in this one. Subscribe and like, let's get into it. So let's start off with the rankings. At 1, I have Summer Dorothy. At 2, I have Summer Anise. At 3, I have Summer Eleg. At 4, I have Summer Helm. At 5, I have Summer Rosanna. At 6, I have Summer Sakura. At 7, I have Summer Mary. At 8, I have Winter Anne. And at 9, I have Summer Neon. And at 10, I have Winter Rupee. So that is literally from the best to the worst characters out of these 10 characters, and I'm gonna go to the pros and cons now. So realistically, Dorothy only has 2 cons that I can think of. One is the simple fact that if you didn't have the shotgun team already built, then you're going to have to build the shotgun team, which is kind of like annoying, just because not only is Tovey now getting a favorite item that you're going to probably want to build up, but her first skill already, like, you need minimum level 9 to get its like actual good potential, right? She's a character you do have to invest into quite a bit, and then again, the shotgun team is not like these meta characters like Crown or Red Hood or Cinderella. The shotgun team consists of characters that you probably did not already have built because you weren't using the shotgun team before, right? So if you didn't have that team built up, it's going to be quite the journey for you to build up that team now, but once you do build it up, you're going to have the time of your life. Realistically, that's the only con I could think of, actually. I don't know why I said there's 2. I think I when I said there was 2 cons, there was both of the facts that you have to build the shotgun team and you have to now work on a favorite item and invest into the shotgun characters, so they're technically the same thing, but I've seen it as 2. Other than that, Dorothy's just too good. She's way too powerful. You don't need to use her on the shotgun team, which is very, very good. Her best team would probably just be the shotgun team, but she's just very, very good. Very, very powerful, very, very strong character. So there's no wrong pulling her. Even if you don't want to build the shotgun team, I will have a video proving to you guys you don't need the shotgun team for this character. She's nasty, trust and believe. Now at 2, I have Summer Anise. I think the only con for Summer Anise is that she is coming out a bit later. She is a fantastic character, a very powerful DPS, and probably still the best supporter for the electrical characters, which, if you don't know, Electric has the strongest DPSs we've ever seen. Scarlet, Cinderella, Ayn is in there, obviously Summer Anise herself is in there, Maiden is in there, a Guillotine is in there. They have a lot of very, very, very powerful electric DPSs in that category, or in that class or whatever, and Summer Anise is by far the best support for that. So there is that. I think the only other con that I can think of for her is the simple fact that you kind of have to build a team around the DPS and her, like, because the one thing about Summer Anise is that she needs to have low bullets, and a lot of the burst ones nowadays do have ammo capacity increase or magazine reload, which is not good for Summer Anise. So that's probably like the only other con, but it's not even that big of a deal for real, especially if you're trying to use it as a sub DPS. Now Eleg, I know you guys are probably wondering, why is Eleg not at 2, right? And it's because when I sat down and I went back to look at something, I realized something that I didn't realize in my initial video for Eleg. And the thing is, Eleg is a great character, but one thing that I think a lot of people are going to realize, especially when we actually get to try her out, is that Eleg is going to be very inconsistent, right? One thing that it noted on her descriptions for her skills is that she will, I guess, a ghost will appear every 6 seconds, right? that's when a ghost will appear. She needs to then find out which enemy the ghost is on and attack that enemy 100 times. And luckily, the entire team can help her out. But if you're fighting mobs, it could be a bit hectic. I don't know. Maybe not, because mobs are weak, so you're going to guarantee kill all mobs regardless, and then it is what it is. But there is that. And then obviously, if you're fighting a boss, the boss, you know, there's only going to be one boss or one enemy, so you're going to have to wait 6 seconds for the next one to appear, which means you're going to have to take about like over a minute for her to be fully stacked up, which then makes me believe if you use her burst skill, she lowers her stacks and stuff like that. And obviously when it comes to Eleg, if you want permanent uptime on her skill 1, you're going to want to have all 13 ghosts. My thing is, Eleg is probably going to be a character that you don't want to use their burst at all. But then that feels like a waste because their burst skill is very, very powerful, right? Her burst skill is one of those burst skills where if she is fully stacked, she's crazy. If she's not fully stacked, it's just not as crazy, but it's still pretty good, right? I believe, let me actually just pull her up real quick. Yeah, it's still quite crazy. If she's not fully stacked up on her ghost possession, then she's still doing 800% times 6, which is very, very good. But literally the only thing with her is if you want her to have permanent uptime on her skill 1, it is going to be hard because it's 6 seconds for a ghost to appear. It's going to be like over 80 seconds before you can be fully stacked up with her ghost thing. So that's the only reason why she's not at 2, and it is a con that is quite big. I still think Eleg is going to be a powerful DPS. I still think she's going to be helpful for the water characters. Like I said, because Summerniece is a character who's kind of like a flex burst 3 now as well. A lot of people don't use Summerniece's burst 3 anymore as well, and that's kind of why I described Eleg as like the Summerniece for water characters, right? Obviously I didn't think about that part I just talked about in that video, but it is true. But yeah, that's Eleg's biggest con right there. She's going to be quite inconsistent in terms of like looking for her to be as consistent with fully stacking up and then being godlike by doing that, right? It's just gonna be inconsistent, right? And I would hate to have to see what her things are looking like at level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, because the skills that we have now are only at level 10. So we'll have to see what percentage are looking like. We'll have to see what the conditions are, right? Like maybe at level 1, what if you have to attack an enemy 200 times? We've seen that before, where depending on the level of the character, the requirement to how much times you have to hit the enemy goes down. If that's the case, then Eleg is going to be the character you have to invest into as well, and it's just a bit of a hassle. Summer Helm, realistically, the only con is that she is used in one thing, but I feel like that one thing she's used in is quite important. Obviously, Summer Helm is a character that after I think 20 seconds, she's going to have a permanent damage taken debuff on the enemy for the rest of the game, especially if they're a boss. It's very helpful for anomaly interception. It's very helpful for any bosses that you're fighting that is the electric typing, anything like that. That's the only con I would say Helm has, right? She is technically supposed to be a DPS, but don't get much out of her for that. Like, she's not that powerful or anything. She's a burst 2 at the end of the day. But realistically, I think if you are struggling for any of those electric bosses, like at all, anomaly interception, solar red, union raid, Summer Helm is that character that can help you out with that big time. Summer Rosanna, I feel like she's a great character. I feel like she's a bit niche because she's more catered to like bosses with parts, which in her case would be Kraken and stuff like that. And then she does have the sustained damage, but I feel like all the characters we've got that have sustained damage kind of have a clear support they want with them. Like Brady, you want crust, right? I know that Rosanna can work well with Raven as well, but it's just, again, fitting Rosanna onto that team for Ultra is just not really, like, it's not going to be possible for real, considering all the other characters you have to deal with there. So that's her biggest con. It's the simple fact that I don't want to say she's inconsistent, but like no matter where you go with her, she's kind of like, it's very hard to fit her in realistically. And it's the same thing for Summer Sakura as well. She's a great DPS. I feel like she's good. I feel like Rosanna and Sakura are great together, especially for the Kraken. And if you build both of them, I mean mainly Sakura. But other than that, I don't feel like Sakura is doing much, right? I don't think you're going to use Sakura outside of bosses. I don't think you're going to use her outside of Kraken, right? Because that's where she's really, really good. You want to use her where she's type advantage, so against the Kraken and against the boss that has a lot of different parts, right? So you can keep her sustained damage uptime. So that is realistically her only con. I know I said I was going to talk about pros and cons, but the pros are that they're very good, and this is the only con, like realistically. Summer Mary, I feel like she's a very good character. I feel like her heals, like she at one time I was saying she was like top 3 healer in the game, and she was, obviously she was very good when it came to healing. Realistically, the only con for her is that she's old now. We have a lot of better healers in this game. We have a lot more efficient healers in this game. She was a cool character though, because she healed anytime you entered a full burst, right? And she would heal all allies, so it was quite crazy how she healed too. She would like have a stacking heal, right? Of like after a certain amount of full burst, she would have stacking heal, and that would happen every 1 second for like 5 or 7 seconds or something like that. So Summer Mary, very, very good healer, at least back in the days. Now there's just a lot like better options, and she is a good like character for the water as well. Like she does give water characters damage, a strong element as well, which is helpful, right? If you want like a healer and a character who can do that. Mary is that character, right? I could see a water meta coming in, and if you're looking for a healer that can still support that water meta, Summer Mary is that character, right? Her burst skill does give an attack buff to water characters alone, and then her second skill or her first skill, one of the two, does give damage, a strong element. So that's very, very good of Mary. But again, realistic, she's just old. Now when it comes to Winter, and she's just like, she's bad realistically. The only good thing about her is that she's good in PvP because she's a rocket launcher with a revive and she can heal. Other than that, she's just bad. Summer Neon is just bad. There's no pros to her. She's like literally a garbage character, and the same thing with Winter Rupee. There's no pros to those two, right? There's no pros. The con is that they're just garbage. It's just as sad as it sounds. It is what it is, right? So realistically, Dorothy and Anise should be your main priority. The only thing is that Eleg and Anise come at different times, right? Dorothy, Eleg, and Anise come at different times. Dorothy comes out tomorrow, Eleg comes out next week, and then Summer Anise comes out in a few months. So I feel like you can probably snag Dorothy and then snag Eleg, and then you save your gems for Summer Anise. That's what I would recommend. And same thing with Summer Helm. I feel like the first 4 are the only characters you need to worry about. Dorothy, Summer Anise, Eleg, and Helm are probably the only 4 characters you need to worry about. Everybody else are just like if you want them, if you know you're going to use them, if you want them or whatever. Now, this is my honest to God game plan. 1 out of these 10 characters are a pilgrim. My honest to God advice to all you guys watching this video is use your golden tickets on Dorothy. Don't use all of them. Use at least 200 on Dorothy, and then use your gems and your tickets on the other banners, right? When it comes to getting Eleg, Anise, Helm, Rosanna, Sakura, Mary, Anne, Neon, and Rupee, all you need is an SSR, and then it's literally coded in the game that you're either going to get them or you're not. It's a 50-50. You just need to get an SSR, which in Nikke is not hard to do, right? Obviously there's gonna be those like a couple few people who have the worst luck, but in reality, it's really just that easy, right? Summon with your currency on those banners. Dorothy, if you were to summon on her banner and you got an SSR, you're fighting for your life because she's only 1% rate up. There's not much there, right? You basically have a 25% chance of getting Dorothy, and then a 75% chance of getting anybody else in the game that's not Dorothy. That's what it becomes when you pull an SSR. So I would highly recommend tickets on Dorothy, currency and gems on everybody else. From whoever you want to summon for, by all means. But tickets on Dorothy, we use golden tickets on pilgrims. We don't use our gems for pilgrims. We use golden tickets for pilgrims. Not to mention, Dorothy's probably going to be the rarest character here because she's a pilgrim. Like, technically, she is going to come back again next year, but I assume now that they've dropped their first ever limited pilgrim, next summer, we're going to get a limited pilgrim, and it's probably going to be like Red Hood, because then Red Hood would have been out for 3 years or something like that, and it's like, okay, well, Red Hood needs a new character. So I assume Red Hood is going to be the next character to get a summer character, which is next year, and then it's like, Yeah, you got a summon for Dorothy and Red Hood. You know what I mean? Golden tickets on Dorothy, gems and currency on any and everybody else. But hopefully this video was helpful for a lot of you guys. Realistically, I don't think it's as complicated as it might be, considering that there's 10 characters. You want Dorothy. No matter if you have the shotgun team built, it doesn't matter. You want her. She's a pilgrim. Everybody and their moms in my comment section has been saying we only save for limited and pilgrim characters. Well, guess what? This is both of them. So you want Dorothy. What you guys say you guys save for is what Dorothy is. You need Dorothy. Everybody else, then you can figure it out. Anyways, it's your boy Zxous. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm out. Subscribe and like. Bye.